We're in the Ukraine, going to TaaS offices.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey everybody, this is Mike DeShazer from Proof, and today I'm in Kiev at the TaaS offices. TaaS is, as you probably know, the largest crypto hedge fund in the world, and we're partnering together to work on bringing Kepler, which is the new TaaS tool that's basically going to replace Bloomberg but for cryptocurrencies, and the assurance market protocol, which Proof is introducing to have peer-to-peer decentralized exchanges that crypto funds like TaaS can use. So I'm going to give you a little sneak peek into AMP and how it works, and we look forward to changing the world of finance with you. Okay, so this is a prototype view of the new AMP desktop application that's coming soon. As you can see here, it's very similar to kind of like a MetaMask where you can manage your accounts like so. Additionally, you can have different tokens like here, and the different tokens that you own can be like your typical ERC20 token that's not backed by anything but a project, or it can be real estate or a real world asset like a company or securitized debt that you can find, and these things will obviously emerge more and more as crypto hedge funds and more kinds of asset issuers get onto the blockchain. So what you'll notice here is that there is relevant news and discussion. So the relevant news and discussion is basically AI driven and curates news based on your portfolio. So if you're into real estate, for example, and a company called KRM or something like that, you'll get news based on that. Additionally, you'll see latest offerings that are featured or whatnot, and you'll have a general trade view that demonstrates what your portfolio looks like. And additionally, you'll be able to search for other assets. Now, this merges with other decentralized exchanges like Ether Delta, and you can basically trade in those markets as well as Proof's own exchange. So let's take a look into some of the other features. So you'll also have this mission control center where you can basically monitor what's happening on the Ethereum network. You can see the nodes that are up. You can also get special announcements. Furthermore, we have this, which is one of the most interesting sides about the AMP. This really demonstrates the protocol and how it works. So let's say there is a luxury villa in Dubai that someone has issued. Now, we don't know if this person is real, if they really own it or not. And as Proof, we don't want to be the ones to actually curate and decide, hey, does this person actually own this thing? We have this risk profile section. This demonstrates whether something is high risk or low risk, and you get a percentage. Now, how is this calculated? Well, the first thing is you'll see here there is a staked against section. Now, the staked against section means that you probably live close by the villa, or you're familiar with the regulations, you know if this is legal or not, you know if the person owns it or not. And if you believe they don't, and you think they're not going to be able to meet their minimum obligations to pay dividends or whatever they set as the minimum expectation for the token, for the smart contract, you can click stake against, and you can put funding behind that. And when they don't meet their obligations, you can actually earn money from funds stored in the smart contract in the insured section. So if you know the asset holder and you know everything is great and you don't necessarily think that the villa is going to go up or down, you can insure it and get a simple 3% return plus whatever is staked against in proportion to whatever you put in. So that's how the double-sided insurance market works, and that kind of works as a self-regulatory mechanism. Then you have the valuation that it was posted at. You can buy tokens, and you can see the current valuation based on trading. So actual people own the stuff. They've bought up some of the tokens, and they're trading them on the market, and that's what generates this price visualization. So that's how that works. You also can see photos and other things, and we made the UI very simple. This is just a first look at it, and things will change. There will be definitely more features, but this is to give a general look at what you can expect to see with the AMP. Now, this is what you'll see on like Bitcoin Wisdom or or other research platforms. You'll see this from Kepler that TaaS is introducing. You'll have all this analytics and be able to see this stuff for all these assets that are going to be put onto the assurance market protocol and other kinds of decentralized exchanges. But it'll be a lot more real-world assets going forward in the future. This is essentially how we see the world transitioning. So right now we have banks. They underwrite securities for companies or real estate investment trusts. We see that becoming a role of the crowd who actually put money in the banks for them to do that, but we see it being more direct. And we see that powered by fintech companies that are emerging left and right all around the world. If you look on the right side, you'll see regulators, the people who keep safe markets free of abuse of retail investors and other investors. And we see that becoming a role of the crowd with people who have intimate knowledge of situations or even insider information to stake their assumptions with funds, and that becoming a way of signaling risk to people that determines how safe a particular investment or tokenized asset is. And then in the middle, we have brokers, centralized exchanges, and accredited investors, which essentially make up the market. We see this transitioning downwards towards decentralized exchanges where you don't have institutions that require trust to actually hold funds for people, but rather smart contract code. And we see that driven by direct peer-to-peer transactions in the crowd, requiring no brokers. This is the transition that we see emerging because of blockchain technology. Now, AMP is, first of all, open source and completely peer-to-peer. So because it's peer-to-peer, it's censorship resistant, meaning that it can't be banned. And if someone wants AMP to shut down, it's going to be really difficult because it just exists in the blockchain in regards to the actual exchange. In regards to the desktop application, there's no website to block because the code is open source. Anyone can download it from anywhere, from any website or from their friends sending them the email. Install it on Mac or PC, and also we're adding Linux, and they'll be able to run it, connect to peers, and get the news from people who don't have censored internet, as well as be able to perform trades, etc., directly onto the blockchain. So that's really exciting. We're excited about this new paradigm shift. And one of the cool things that we're going to be adding is definitely after the launch of the desktop application and the website, there will be a mobile application for doing all this on the go, as well as decentralized customer support. So because there needs to be no way a central authority can stop, if you have a lot of funds sitting on something like the blockchain and you're using a dashboard, you might have to ask questions. You might get lost in certain places. So we're developing models to create ways to incentivize people to share their knowledge with others in real time through the dashboard. So we'll be making some special announcements about that very soon. So anyways, this is all about us wanting to take the trust away from people depending on us to keep up with stuff as a centralized exchange, and making sure that the power goes into the hands of the crowd and not into the hands of a small group of people like us or like a bank or anyone else. And so we hope this helps democratize capital so that communities can begin to tokenize the world around them and begin to take stakes in that world in a self-regulatory fashion. And what we could see from this could be ICOs that are, or token sales that are geared towards political candidates or things like that, and have people bring legislation around the world that can actually make effects to make tokenization more mainstream. And when that becomes a reality, you'll have more communities able to transact both locally and internationally to uplift their communities, to self-regulate, and also involve more people in what government typically does, which is supposed to be to help people live a better life. And we hope that AMP is at least a pebble on the road to a better future for us all. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.